Okay, here we go.
Man, so you have Netflix, right?
Oh, yes.
So one of our favorite guys is Joe Rogan. We just love the podcast, and we like
his comedy stuff. Oh, my God.
Is some of the best. Well, he did one. He did a show called Triggered, which I thought was a genius show.
Okay.
And he was talking about Texas and how individual and how unique Texans are. Well, there's this one thing he talked about. He said that statistically, and he says you can fact check me on this, but in Texas, there's more tigers owned in captivity than there are free in the rest of the world.
Really?
Yeah. So there is a lot of that. I mean, I remember in East Texas where this lady had.
I do
remember the wildcats
that,
and all that.
Yes.
And they had to go in and take it over because she got sick.
Because was there a chimpanzee thing over?
Yeah,
was that Texas?
Yeah, where a lady got her face all chewed up,
yeah.
and then they found all the lions and these tigers. So just imagine, you don't know what's in your backyard. You don't know what kind of pets people have, right? So imagine you're a dude, okay, and you've been hanging out with your buddies, and you just bought a bag of weed, okay, and you're looking for a place to go smoke it.
Right.
Okay, so he stumbles into this, what he thought was an abandoned house. Okay, out of the weather, the comforts of privacy and out of the weather.
So I'm thinking that this person didn't have a home of his own.
No, apparently not. Or he didn't want to bring that shit home, right?
Okay.
He wanted to kind of just use it before he got there.
Because I go hang out in abandoned places all the time.
So I'm going to go dig my way into an abandoned house. So he sits in his house, and he lights up, and he's starting to get high.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, he kind of hears something breathing in the room. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Makes a little noise, maybe a little growling. He turns around and looks, and there's a 1,000-pound tiger in a small cage.
Well, the first thing I'd be thinking is, man, this is some good shit.
No kidding, right? So you got to know. You got to know that guy literally shit himself.
Wow.
Literally. So he runs out of the place, apparently, and makes an anonymous phone call.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So on a welfare check to the house, the HPD shows up, and sure enough, they find this big cat.
Well, it would be funny if they showed up and said, do you see that tiger? Hey, do you smell weed?
Yeah, no kidding, right? But the guy was gone. He made the phone call and booked because he was unidentified. They don't know who he is.
Oh, my God.
So they show up with animal control,
uh-huh.
and it's a 1,000-pound female. They said well-fed. Now, they never mentioned anything about the homeowner, anybody in that house. They said abandoned home.
Yeah, because I'd be wondering, because it's well-fed.
Yeah.
Either somebody is stopping by to feed it, so I don't know if you have any missing pets or people in your neighborhood.
I'm telling you.
Because that'd be
1,000-pound cat's a lot of maintenance,
that'd be a good way to get rid of somebody.
It is, for sure. So they take this cat, okay, and they transport it to an animal shelter.
Okay.
So this cat is in an animal shelter in Northwest Harris County, kind of just for a health check, and they're going to try to get it. I'm sure it's going to go to a zoo. It almost would have to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that just goes to make you think about all these wild animals. Because I remember there's one over by Conroe it's off of I-40. It used to be off of I-45.
That may have been the one that I was.
Remember that one?
About.
Well, no, there was one in East Texas too. A lady. So when you get into the oil and gas money,
yeah. Oh yeah.
You can buy exotic pets.
That's the fuck
out
you
your
money.
ass, right?
That's
yeah.
The fuck you
well,
money.
that Dr. Brown. You remember the hand surgeon guy?
Yes.
He had an exotic zoo that would rival Michael Jackson's exotic zoo.
He had exotic women too.
Yeah. Well, he was just crazy. That dude just went batshit. But anyway, so all these different animals that you can have, because apparently Texas, you can have those kind of things. So this wildlife park, I remember back, this is going to be in God, I don't want to be wrong on the year, but it was in the early 90s when it flooded over that way.
Uh-huh.
And they had to go in there and either trank or kill these animals in this drive-through animal park because...
Wow.
The floodwaters, the barriers were broke down, the gates would have gotten loose, and you had wild animals running through that whole 1488, all those woods up there by Crichton,
uh-huh.
all up in that part of town. So yeah, so I'm just sitting here thinking, man, what that guy's thinking now after finding this big cat in a cage in his while he's trying to smoke dope. I just think that's funny.
This sounds like a scene out of like Cheech and Chong.
It does. I mean, it really does.
That would be, only something like that would show up in one of their movies.